Hey guys, I'm Claudia Paul and I'm a portrait shooter here in New York City. And today I'm going to give you 5 tips on how to work with people that are not models and how to make them feel comfortable in front of the camera. All right, tip number 1, get to know your subject. Meaning, if you can, hop on a phone call with them before, have a coffee if that's possible, and just find out, what their story is, what they're passionate about. And, let's say if you're shooting someone a little bit more high profile, go on the internet and Google them and go on Wikipedia and just find out if there's anything that you could use to connect with them on the shoot. They have children, they're like passionate basketball player. And I think it just gives you a much better connection with them. It gives you an icebreaker. It shows them also that you're genuinely interested in who they are and that you want to capture that. So my tip number 2 is coach people what to wear for their shoot. And I'll explain that a little bit. So for me, a lot of people don't really know. They're kind of insecure about what to wear. They might go out to buy new things and might not know what colors look good on them and with their skin tone. They might not know what shapes fit them the best. So I always like to do a consultation with my subjects and my clients, and help them if they need help. And this could be saying, look, bring at least one piece that you absolutely love and that makes you feel like $1 million. For me, for example, that's my leather jacket. And so I feel like everybody has a favorite piece and it doesn't have to be a new piece of clothing. And the other part is, I think that you also, in portraits, you don't want to necessarily just notice the clothing, you want to notice the person. So I feel like the clothing should always be helping the image, but it shouldn't dominate the image. All right, my tip number 3 is know your gear, which is your lighting and your camera. Because once you have a person on set, I want you to be able to focus on the person, how you communicate with them, how you make them comfortable. And if you need to, fumble with your settings and you're insecure about your lighting, it kind of translates to the subject a lot of times and it makes them more nervous and they're like, oh, how is this coming out? And so I feel like it's really, once that's second nature to you, that you really test out your lighting beforehand and really know how you want to shoot and have those settings ready, that really frees up your time and energy to just focus on your subject and make them look the best that they can. So my tip number 4 is be real if you want them to be real. And that for me is sharing some of who I am, maybe sharing some of my insecurities, my vulnerabilities. And this way I feel like when I open up myself to the subject, I usually get something in return that's much more in-depth than as, if I'm just having small talk with them. And, for me, the goal is always to capture someone's real, authentic personality. And for that to happen, I have to make the first step, if that makes sense. I have to open up myself and share something that's personal to me, maybe in a conversation. And this way, they get to relax and they get to open up and they get to, in return, have much more meaningful images. My tip number 5 is know when to stop. So people that aren't models, they don't have that kind of stamina when it comes to being in front of camera. And so sometimes you might be pushing them too much for too long. And also if you're using strobe lighting, it can really kind of affect them. So when I notice that a person is kind of getting stuck, you feel like they're just not present, they might get tired, I have them get up, get off the set, dance around, shake it out, do whatever they need to do, have some water, listen to some great music, but really just get them out of that moment, if they might be feeling insecure or might not be happy with the images quite yet. You get them out of that headspace and have them move around, and then, kind of reset and start fresh. And I find that helps a lot, and just, take little breaks, because, they're not trained and they don't know how to be on camera all day long. It's not realistic. And my bonus tip is that I like to show each person one really great image. And this could be, I like to shoot tethered a lot, so I'm shooting right to my laptop a lot of times. But also back of the camera, if you scroll through and something jumps out on you and you really feel like you've captured the person in a great way, it helps to show your subject that image and just, share your excitement and tell them how happy you are about that image and how excited you are and how great they look. And usually that kind of energy translates to them and makes them feel so good about themselves and how they look. And then this usually makes the rest of the shoot kind of like, it takes it up a notch. And I feel like it really opens them up again, and just, makes for better pictures in the end. I hope these tips helped you in some way, and you can always reach out to me or put something in the comments below if you have any questions. You can find my website, claudiapaul.com, and I'm also on Instagram at Claudia Paul. And always love to hear from fellow photographers, so don't be shy and reach out. Thank you.